refusals on the vocational education,
Correct.
especially for the offshore Chinese students. And now I got problems like in this year. I got so many onshore refusals as well.
As well, correct.
I think the department, they may try their best to avoid trouble for reducing the student numbers. So because they always have some conflict with the universities, and then they just like put their reduction of the student numbers to the vocational
Correct.
colleges. But I think your point is very good.
Yep.
So what department they more like want to make the student available, or they hope the vocational students can from where, and they think the student ways that they can give them is the like regional area.
Yeah.
For this will be the currently I think is the good way.
I think what you're trying to highlight, it's a $50 million question, if not a much bigger question, because Australian government, because your history of working in the business as well is quite long, Australian government has always been a reactive government. So they react to situation rather than proactively thinking 10 years or 5 years down the track. It's always been a reactive. I'll give you a very classic example. I mean, during COVID, for example, when COVID hit in 2020, they told all the students, you look after yourself. We will look after our people. So a lot of international packed their bags, went back. In 1 year, the government realized, oh my God, there's nobody working in retail, hospitality, farms, aged care. They had no people. And what they did? They opened the door absolutely wide. And then everybody came in. And suddenly, again, they closed the doors down. Oh, too many people. So I think, and I speak to a lot of people in the same business, it has been the hardest in the last 21 years of education in Australia. Even universities are suffering. However, I don't think it's going to be too long, but it's a matter of who can sustain. I'm not a critique of the Labour government, but the Labour government is not for business. It's always for the Labour. It's always for the working class.
Yeah.
Liberal government is more. So I always like, my estimation is, the federal government should always be Liberal and the state government should be Labour. It's a good balance. It's a good balance. But we don't know what's at the moment. It's the opposite, because the Liberal government is state and Labour government is federal. Because we are small business. You and I, we both are small business.
Yes.
So for us, sustaining is very important. And unfortunately, with the new policies, I think they're screwing us and screwing us. So it's a matter of who can sustain and who has the patience to stay. I'm thinking outside the box a little bit as well. Like, I'm looking at Cairns as a region because there is a lot of demand in Cairns. Employers are crying out for people. Now, there could be two ways to look at it. Either we train people here, but if they can't come here, there is an opportunity to train them wherever they are and bring them as skilled people into the country. So you can look at both ways. Because the employers I'm talking to, they're saying, Mel, we can't find people here. But I'm happy to look at the option of getting people skilled, if they're skilled, and how better if we can skill them in Australian education back. So if there's an opportunity, we can discuss today multiple opportunities. One could be an opportunity where if we have the access to resources to deliver some specific qualifications offshore,
Yep.
or train people offshore and bring them here as skilled labor. That's one thing. Or find skilled labor directly and bring them here as well. That's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way. If we, I think if the people can come in, because I think that the first one we like have more experience on is when we have some courses in Cairns, we can provide those people, overseas students, they can come and learn the skills Australian needs.
Absolutely.
And then they can provide their skills back to Australia business.
Absolutely.
And give them a good support, because I know there's so many employers, they need the employee, and especially for those skilled ones.
I had a call sorry to cut you off. I had a call from, I have another business guy who works, he runs a disability business in Cairns. It's in an area called Mossman, which is 1.5 hours from Cairns, further north. And he runs a business which is in Innisfail, which is another hour down from Cairns. So he's got two businesses. He called me up the other day and said, Mel, I need 4 people. Can you just send me? I don't care where they are. I'm happy to sponsor them. But unfortunately, his application for sponsorship, he's applied for Dharma. So he's put in the application for Dharma registration. But along with the application, he's put 3 staff employee as well. So he said, that was my limit. But I desperately need 4. I'm happy to sponsor them. Can you send me 4? My only issue was I had 4 people to send to him. But they said, Mel, we're already working here with an employer. And that employer is not going to sponsor us. So we know that. But we're happy to go there. But I can't leave my job and go to another employer who can't sponsor me.
Yeah.
So I told him, look, the day you get your Dharma approval registration, you just give me a call. I'll have 4 people sitting on the plane straight to your workplace, because there is so much of demand. Employers are asking hospitality, travel and tourism, healthcare, trade qualification. I think cities are already full with people. It's only the regions that are crying out and can't find people. But Department of Home Affairs is still being very tight. Yes, we are seeing refusal. China is assessment level 1. And we are still seeing refusals coming through. Well, I had a meeting last week on Friday with an employer in Brisbane. She runs, again, disability and aged care facility. And one of my roles being in education, I've already built, is I provide human resources services as well.
Oh, so good.
I am not a registered migration agent like yourself, but I have I've done it with 2 employers already. I've got them a labor agreement completely through the application with Department of Home Affairs, having meeting with the unions. I've organized all of that as well for the employers. So I got them a labor agreement as well.
So you're helping them to do the labor agreement? Yeah.
So I've gone through the entire process for 2 employers already. I've got another meeting with another indigenous disability provider May 12th. Same thing. What I do is, my job is educating them. So at the moment, the current aged care and healthcare sector needs people. Most of them are employing people on casual. But the challenge they are facing with casual is, to be a casual, most of the international students work as casual, but can't be sponsored as a casual. The domestic Australian people that work in healthcare, they don't last too long. What happens, they work 3 months, 6 months. And we know for a fact, aged care and disability is not an easy job.
No.
Very hard, very hard. So domestic people do the job for 3 or 6 months and say, oh my God, this is very hard, we can't do it, and leave. Who stay are international students who have done Masters of Accounting, Masters of IT, MBA. And while they were doing that, and this is my client, I'll tell you, I'll give you examples now. So when they were doing Masters, they did this 3 months aged care course,
Yes.
And they became aged care worker, disability worker. So they've got 1 year of experience already. Now they've dumped the accounting, they've dumped the IT because they're not getting any sponsorship, and they're getting sponsorship in aged care.
Yeah, I think at least they can have a job and they can survive, and they also can get their permanent residence.
Correct, and that's what I've got is now. So this employer that I got labor agreement for, I had to find her 5 people, which I have managed to find for this year, because she got only approval of 5 for 482, not for 186. So I've already provided her 5 people. Next year I have to provide another 5 to her as well. And all the applicants I've given are international. Now the employers are very clear. They want international staff only, because they're applying for 482, which takes about 4 or 5 months before they get 482. They get a 2-year 482. Once they qualify and they get 2 years experience, because they've already got 1 year experience while they were doing their masters.
Yeah.
2 years while they're doing their 482. That gives them 3 years of experience, so then apply for 186 after that. When they apply for 186, you know for a fact it takes at least 18 months before your 186 comes through. 18 months to 2 years. So in a sense, you've given an employer a staff member who's there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Minimum. I spoke to the employee and said, Mel, this is the best formula, because my domestic staff don't last with me more than 6 months. But an international applicant will stay with me for 4 years, and guess what happens after 4 years? They've gone up in their experience. They've gone up in their rank because they're no longer a worker. They become a manager, supervisor, or a team leader. And then the next flow starts. So employers happy because they don't have to keep looking for people all the time. They're growing their business. And this is exactly what I've been trying to sell everybody as well. But it's a life cycle. A student comes in, studies, wants a job, wants PR, goes through. So you're providing a service all the way through.
Yes, because Karen, I think for the students, maybe at the beginning, they just, when you discuss with them about the pathway, they think, oh yeah, I'm a master, I hold a master degree, but I have to do some like treaties or
Correct.
labor work. But when they start doing that, they just found out, oh, it's a quite good pathway, and you can see the hope.
Absolutely.
And definitely have like more chance to get their own
Correct.
goal. And even after they work maybe 4 years and they get the PR, they found they have a good work experience in the workplace in Australia, and then it's easy for them to find another desired job.
Absolutely. Or they go and start their own business as well. So a lot of the international people generally would go and start their own business after 4 or 5 years because they're settled in, they've got the skills, they may start their own business as well. So I think what we want to be a part is of that life cycle, because I think as a business, it's a win-win-win situation. You win because you're providing the service of at every stage, from student visa to 482 visa to 186 visa to whatever that is. As an education provider, I get them in, I train them up, and hopefully find an employer for them as well. They win because they're getting a service that otherwise would be very difficult for them.
Yeah.
But the irony is, the government doesn't realize that vocational education is where the demand is. Enough of IT and enough of accounting. We don't need so many people in IT and accounting.
We don't need so many. So I think that because it's quite easy for them to get a PR, and then after that they just do not want to go to do the job for
Nobody
the accountant.
does it.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Nobody do the accountant or the IT person. So this means even we have so many migrants, they are on occupation is accountant or IT person, but these people, they don't go to this industry.
So you're right. So what's happened is they've wasted time, 2 years, 2.5 years of the time, or more than 2.5 years because they're going to 485. So they wasted nearly 4 years of the time and money. And after all that, once they get the PR because they get invitation and whatever they say, okay, what do I do now? They don't know what they're doing because accounting and IT is not what they want to do. They did it only purely for the purposes of 485 and getting invitation from the state nominations or whatever. Once they've done that, then they think, oh my God, I invested nearly $50,000, $60,000. I stayed here for 4 years. I've nearly thrown $150,000, if not more. And now I'm back to square one. What am I going to do? What is my career option? Then they go and study something else after that. And I think you have experienced this more than I have.
Yeah.
Everybody comes to you and say, oh, look, I finished my MBA or finished this. What do I do now? And so what we've just seen is waste of resources. That's all we have seen.
Yeah, I think for me, I normally give them a pathway and give when the student come to say me about which kind of courses they want to go, I always ask them, so what's your career goal and what's your your dream the life will be. Not only for which kind of job you want to do, and the other thing is very important is which kind of life you want to be. So where you want to live. So these things I always ask the students and give them some idea. So which kind of goal they want to achieve in the next few years.
Correct.
So this will have a good start to support their later goals. So that's why I suggest them to think about that before choose their major for the university. Or maybe they can consider a pathway while they doing their courses in the university. They may alongside have some vocational education to learn a skill they may be interested in. So for example, like for learning the commercial cookery. Or someone choose to be the carpenter, and someone they may choose to do childcare or something else. So that's why I think your course is very attractive. The boat
building one.
Yeah, boat building, because that one is quite unique in Cairns, maybe in Gold Coast. So
everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere, and this the course not many education provider gave, and you go to have a course for 1 or 2 years, and then you have your skills to do the boat build. And now it's not like previously you must do so many labor work for this occupation. Currently you only need to know how to do it and know the structure, and maybe you use so many advanced machine to do it.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. And guess what? Australia is an island continent, which means we've got water all around us.
Yes.
Okay? We've got water all around us. So we may not be doing a lot of manufacturing. Like a lot of Australia doesn't manufacture cars. It's stopped.
No.
But there's definitely maintenance of cars, servicing of cars, repairs of cars. Same goes with the boats as well. So yes, the qualifications about boat building and shipwright, but that's one little part of it, boat building. But most of the work that also happens is ship repairs or boat repairs and boat servicing. And so if you go to Sydney or you go to Melbourne or you go to Cairns or you go to Townsville or Brisbane, even Brisbane Harbour, there's so many yachts. All that have to be maintained, serviced, repaired. Who's doing it? There's no qualified people. So how are the employees doing it at the moment? I speak to so many employees. You know what they say? We get people from other trades. So they are bringing people who are doing different other jobs, boiler fitters in mechanical industries, bring them into boat building and train them up to do this job. So what we are noticing is the industry, and it's a very significant gap. There are not many people being trained. So as a Cricos provider, there are only 3 Cricos providers in the country. And I was just telling you on the chat as well. All 3 of them are in Queensland.
Yes.
Okay? 2 of them are in Gold Coast and 1 is me in Cairns. I chose Cairns because it's a destination. There are a lot of, and I've got employees there. I'm scared to go and talk to employees because the minute I start talking to employees, they all say, when can you send me people to work?
I'm scared to talk to them.
Exactly, because I already have 1 or 2 employers. So I know for a fact, if I go and talk to more employers, they will all keep asking.
Yeah.
And I can't provide. I can't. Because at the moment, the challenge we have is the visas are not coming through. So until I see approvals coming through, then I say, okay, if we see 10 students join the July intake, then I know, okay, if I'm getting 10, that means I have to place a 10, which is fine. That my current employee will take all 10. If I go to talk to another employer, he will need another 10. So if I can make sure visas are coming through, then I can go and start talking to employers. Then I can create that life cycle. So students know for a fact, and I'm not sure if you get a chance to watch my video with the employer, but the opportunity, every employer I speak to, I spoke to another employer in New South Wales the other day. They called me for something else and I just asked them very casually, if I would have students to join your workshop for boat building or boat repair, would you take them? They said, happily we would take them. When can you send them? I said, sorry, it was just a question. I have nobody to send to you.
The student or still be somewhere else.
Correct. So the demand is there, but unfortunately, the problem we have now is one department of the Australian government is not talking to the other department of the government. So the small business department or the small businesses is yelling out for people and employees and workers. Department of Home Affairs has got nothing except close the doors right now because the government is saying, oh, the housing crisis, the cost of living crisis, all because of temporary residents, which is not the case. But unfortunately, that is how the politics happen. So we just got to roll with it until such stage where the idiots realize, oh my God, we don't have people to look after our parents, so we need to open the doors to get more workers, or we don't have people to pick up fruits from the farms because we're not getting fruits coming to the supermarket, it's getting expensive. So that's how life is, but we're only a small cog in the wheel. We got to.
Yeah, I think that's. I think your courses will be more like in advance, not the beginning. Not when we learn something and then go to do. We do something and then later we have to expect the policy they're going to change. And definitely I think they're going to change because now all the employees have be angry and there's so many voices come out. Yes, we just I heard so many small business owners, and not only small business, I think some big business as well, they run out of the employees.
Absolutely.
Especially for the stable ones. So that's why I think currently the Department of Home Affairs, they have very good policies to those employer-sponsored visas.
Correct.
Yeah, but because they shut down the other visas like student visa or the reduce some 485 visa
and 407 as well. Training visas also have being affected at the moment.
They give so many like restrictions to these other visas, make the employer-sponsored work visa so many applicants.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
give them so much like work burden. So make all the processing very slow. So didn't show the good way of this employer-sponsored visa, but definitely they want more employer-sponsored visas. So I think it is some stage they stuck there. They're going to work out, but this will take time, maybe half year or maybe 1 year.
Look, I hope and I pray that I have the stamina to keep swimming in this big ocean, because if I don't have the stamina to keep swimming, I will drown.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to have enough stamina to keep swimming and keep the head above water, keep breathing. Until the government can, open the doors up and lower the pressure. If they don't open the door, a lot of people are going to be sinking, unfortunately. And that is how business is as well. But, we hope and pray for the best option and keep the stamina going to swim. So a lot of the businesses I speak to, because I come from the training business as well, they're running quite lean. They're running very tight, They're trying to survive. They're trying to fight. There is a demand. There's no doubt about it. There is a demand, a big demand of tradespeople.
Yes, trades they are, especially I think in Queensland.
Yes.
We need because of the Olympic in 2032. So the government currently they have so many projects ongoing. So they have many trades to, especially in the building and in the construction industry.
Correct.
So this make nearly, I think, lots of them go into the government projects. So this means the small projects around other places, especially for private use, we're going to have very big shortage of these persons.
I was also reading a report the other day as well so if we are not bringing people from overseas to do the trades or to learn the trades, the government is relying on domestic apprentices to take up the trades. Our students who are finishing high school, the numbers have been lower in the last 50 years, the lowest numbers of people taking apprenticeship. Because after year 12, a lot of students are going to universities.
Yeah.
Or even if they start a trade, they're not getting through it because the trade takes about 4 years. First 2 years they'll do it and then they'll drop it. So the level of apprentices also coming out is very small. So where are the people going to come from? The only way the people are going to come from is offshore. People coming in, learning the trades and getting in. And you're right, construction are the trades that people should learn, or manufacturing, because that's what we need.
Yeah.
So hope they listen to our voices and make some changes, but it's a big wheel, the big wheel turns slow, so you are right, 6 months to 1 year possibly if they hear.
Yeah, so we should prepare in advance for the students, and so also I think for the students, they want to know more about the policy and what's their way to go through all the study and also their later career pathway and their PR pathway. I think for the vocational education in Australia, they don't have too much high
entry requirement.
Yeah, the tuition fee is not that high.
Correct, that's right.
And also I think because you can work half time,
that's right.
every week 24 hours you can work part time, and there's lots of job, especially those easy pickup jobs.
Correct.
In Australia for this overseas student to have. So it's quite easy for them to survive here.
Yes.
They may only need prepare some starting tuition fee for their courses.
For
and
6
then,
months or something.
Yeah, and then they can earn their own money to support themselves. So that's a good way for the students to do. But currently, I think the main issue for the student is the visa refusal.
I think that's like the magical door. It opens only for some people. It doesn't open for some people. We don't know what the magic code is. Nobody knows what the magic code is. Some get it, some don't. But you're right. I mean, once a student gets through and comes into the country, the opportunities are endless. Because I'll give you an example. I've got students who work in Bunnings part time. They get paid $45 an hour to stack shelves in Bunnings.
Yes.
It's very good work. and they don't need to have prior experience. They train them everything as well. So if you work as a disability aged care worker, you get $36 an hour casual rate, which is very good as well. And you're right, once they get initial money to pay the initial 6 months fees, get the visa once they're in the country. I think that's the magic once they have to come in the country.
And also after they have this like 3 days course, they learn a skill and they can register, and so they can just have a better like occupation career way.
Absolutely.
And because there's so many in need for, we're talking about the boat industry, because there's so many boats. It's the lifestyle for Australian. They love the boats.
Absolutely.
So like, not like a small amount of people have the yacht. I think even for the middle class or like basic, like even for those blue collar people, they have their own boat as well. So
it has to be
for the fishing, and so for their own entertainment. We also have so many rivers in our cities.
So I think you and I think, and everybody else as well, possibly whoever is listening later on as well, will realize that the opportunity is definitely there. There's no debate about that. You and I, we both agree the opportunity is there. It's how we connect this opportunity to the people who are looking for that opportunity. I think that connection, that pipeline has to be established. And that pipeline with as little roadblocks as possible. So if we get that formula right, the formula could be getting visas for a region rather than Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. Getting the right age group, for example, or right qualification, for example, whatever that may be. I think once you get that formula right, but again, we don't know the formula because it all comes down to the Department of Home Affairs and visa officers and things like that as well. So I think one thing for certain, China is assessment level 1, which makes it low risk. We are level 2, which again makes it low risk as well. The course that we're enrolling them is so unique as well.
Yeah.
So the competition is very, very less. It's Cert 3, so the entry requirement is low. We're talking about Cairns, which is again a regional place. There's a demand by the employer as well. So, I can go to an employer and get a letter and say, there's a massive demand for graduates who would be studying this course. Okay, I can get that letter. It'll take me possibly 1 day to get that letter. But I'm not sure if you can put that letter in a visa application, because what will happen is the Home Affairs guys will say, oh, hang on a minute. You put an employer...
Not a genuine student.
Correct. He said, oh, you're putting an employer letter saying the employer needs people. That means you're not coming here to study, you're coming here to... So you're doomed if you say you're going to go and help Australia to become the skilled labor and they need the people. You're doomed if you don't say that also as well. So, and that's one of the reasons. I think I was reading a report the other day about immigration Mara agent saying, can you come up with a very subjective or a very clear guideline of what you want the students to be, your ideal student? What is the checklist? And keep it checklist based rather than somebody making a decision based on a SOP or a GS statement.
Yeah, I think the Home Affairs receive so many complaints about this part.
Correct.
And then they just like set out, they're going to use AI for the...
I heard about that.
Yeah, so they want to use AI to reduce the complaint.
But I don't think it's going to help because AI is what you tell the AI to do. So if you program your AI to review the application and say, out of the 100,000 applications you receive, refuse 70% of it and come up with bloody good reasons why you're refusing it. So that's what I'm saying. When you tell your AI what you want, the AI will do it for you. And AI will come up with very good reasons why they're refusing you as well. So
this will make us even harder to do the appeal.
Absolutely, because the appeal. See, appeal is a good backup if your client is in the country.
Yes, onshore students, I think
appeal,
nearly 99% of them, when onshore students, they receive the refusal, they're going to do the appeal.
Absolutely. Because by the time the appeal comes around, they get here, the person has actually genuinely finished the qualification that they're studying in.
Yeah, they already completed.
They already graduated, they're qualified. They're qualified nurses or aged care workers or whatever that may be. And they can clearly show there's a demand for my services in Australia.
Yes.
Because of which I applied for a student visa. So I think that gray area is a very big gray area. You know, if I put a letter from the employer, it's a problem. If I say I'm going to go back to China after I graduate, they say, oh, you're not a genuine student, you're lying to us.
Yes.
You know? So you're damned if you do it, you're damned if you don't do it as well. So as I said, I don't know what the right formula is, but education is genuine. The way we teach is genuine. There's a genuine demand of employees as well.
Yes.
It's just bloody that one department has to talk to the other department and say, let's bring in people and for the right skills that we need. Stop bringing people for MBA courses and accounting and IT because we got too many of them anyway. And that's not the trades we need at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think
about there's another way we can do is we can do the training offshore.
Yeah.
So have all, because we have the experience, all the course settings and experienced people to do the training.
Yeah.
So we also can have some like overseas training set.
Yep. We can.
And do that, and then make all these people they qualified for a job.
Yes.
And then they can just go straight away, go to employer sponsored.
We can do that, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm doing already in discussion. I've got the MOU come last week with a partner in Vietnam. So they said the same thing, just like you, Wendy. Same thing. Let's get them trained overseas, let them qualified. Yes, the price might be much lower because the partner is delivering the course.
Yeah.
I'm just guiding them. I'll have to do the compliance and whatever, which is okay. And if I can't train them here, I will train them there. I can, it's a Cert 3 and a Cert 4, I can deliver there, tick all the boxes, check everything off, and get them qualified there. And then I can bring them here as qualified skilled people. Yes, they may be junior, but that's still okay. They can start working.
Yeah,
and one more thing is, sorry to cut you, one more thing is, here we take 2 years to teach the course because we teach them 2 days a week or 3 days a week.
Yeah.
In China or in Vietnam, I can teach them 5 days a week. And that 2-year course can be done in 12 months. Much faster.
Yes.
So the cycle is quicker as well. So I'm getting qualified trained people in 12 to 14 months. Bang, 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 get them out. Rather than here we do it for 2 years because they need to qualify for the work visa, the post-study work visa, graduate to skill work visa. In China, we don't. We just get them, because in China, I think most of the Asian countries, the concept of education is going to school every day.
And even for them, in the school is essential.
Correct.
Not online study.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that gives us acceleration, which means a student who would come in and take 2 years to study, we finish them in about 12 months, maximum 14 months.
Yeah.
And we can start introducing our students to our employers here when they reach the 12-month mark. So the employer knows, okay, this is the person, this is a skill set, this is what Federation, because they're getting a Federation qualification. We know what Federation is teaching. We've seen the workshops. We know what it is. We can show them the videos of everything as well. We can interview the students. So they know when the student is coming here, what are they getting?
Yeah.
And you know, it's not hard. If we have 30, 40, 50 students studying in China in one of the cities, coastal cities, it's easier for me to put an employer on a plane for 3 days.
Yeah. We just
send them there, put them in a hotel, get them to interview those 50 students and say, oh, I like these 10 people, I can take them 10 right now. And the rest of them also, I can get another employer in. We can have like a placement fair, employer placement, where employers get resumes, they can interview people as well. It's easy as that. That whole ecosystem can be created. If we can't do it here, then we're going to take the model somewhere else and get them as skilled people here on 482. And this is where the strategy will work, Wendy, is because if I go to an employer and say, hey, would you like to have 10 employees? You'll say, yep, that's fine. I would like to have 10 with this skill set. I'll ask them the next question. Have you got Department Home Affairs approval? Can you sponsor 482? You'll say, no problem. Wendy can do it for you. So what we are doing is we're not only servicing a student client, we're also servicing the employer client. So we're getting the employer, get them the SBS if required, get them the DAMA registration if required.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, we also can help if there's so many demanding, we also can help them do the labor agreement with the department.
Correct, we can do that as well. So we can do that for HK, for manufacturing, for boat building, we may not need a labor agreement. I don't think it's a labor agreement for shipwright. But what we can get them in SBS, we can get them the DAMA registration and get them ready for when the students are graduating. So you got a parallel strategy happening, one with the employer, one with the applicant. So they both finish and then we introduce them.
Yep.
Now, it's a very optimistic, very entrepreneurial thinking, but we have to do it because that can be done.
Yes.
And all these employers of boat building, they are not employers who are setting up a business today and closing tomorrow. They are there for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yes.
So they are looking also, they're thinking, okay, next year I can take more projects. So next year for me to take more projects, I have to make sure that I have the people. So the employer I'm speaking to, they're not taking projects. They're saying, Mel, we are too busy with a lot of work at the moment. But if I tell them, what if I give you 10 people next year? They said, okay, if you're going to give you 10 people next year, qualified in this skill set, then I will go and get more work.
In China, the people, they're thinking about not only they go overseas for study, they're thinking about where I can get a job.
Once they're in the country, I can literally guarantee, once they're in Australia, they come into Australia for this course, there is, I think we can get them a job in the first year itself, even before they graduate. First year, they may have to do odd jobs until they learn the skills of the trade. After the first year, they can get jobs straight in the workshop itself. Because they would have a skill by then, they'll have some, like when you do cookery, you know, it takes, once you learn the knife skills, once you learn how to do, you may initially, for the first 6 months, you'll be only cutting vegetables, for example.
Yes.
You may not be cooking. But after 6 months, you'll start making entrees first, you know. And then after you learn entrees, you get really good, then you start doing mains, and then you do desserts. So by the time you graduate, you technically become a cook. So we also deliver cookery as well in Cairns as well. So I'm going to start in July. We're doing cookery as well, and I'm doing. If you've got people on 485 visas, for example, and who are looking at the accelerated, I'm doing it within 1 year.
Yeah, I found that as well.
You got that information?
Yeah, because I was saying normally it takes like 2 years.
That's right.
Yeah, but you have like 1 year course. It will be quite good for the 485
Absolutely.
visa holders.
That is a specific reason why. Because see, the reason why people do 2 years is because they need to tick the 92 weeks box. That's the reason you stretch the course out.
Yeah.
But if you have a 485 guy who's already got a 2-year 485, he says, I know for a fact my MBA is going to be shit. I'm not going to get anything out of it. He knows it. He knows it. And there's no second 485 coming either. So his only option is he's got a 2-year 485, 1 year finish cookery, get a bloody job as a cook or something in the 1 year, and get that employer to sponsor you before your 485 runs out. Not on your MBA, but on your chef course.
Yes.
They have to pivot. If they don't pivot, they're just sinking. They're just going to pack their bags and go after 485, because there's no student visa is out of question. They'll not get another student visa.
No, I think for the student visa it's very hard. For the students, if they want to go to, I have so many students. They go to the vocation courses, but they just got a visa refusal, and then on the appeal process.
Correct.
Yeah, there's so many of them are at this situation.
Correct.
Because I think even everyone know. There are not like 90% they can go to success in their appeal, but they just got like, I still hold a refusal and only have a bridging visa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not a good feeling.
It's not good. It's not good. And it's more end of the road for them. So rather than being reactive by applying for a student visa at the end of 485, you rather do it while you're doing 485, because your MBA, your IT, your accounting, unless you get a state nomination, you get approval, that's a different story. But they have to start preparing a backup plan. Plan B is very, very important.
Yes.
And
definitely.
that's the reason we came up with this 1 year course. It is not, ideally it's not meant for a student visa application. It's meant for everybody who's already in the country doing a course which they are now regretting doing. So that course of 485, 1 year cookery, because I'm going to be teaching them 3 days a week. At the moment, colleges teach 1 day a week.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to be teaching them 3 days a week just so that I can finish. So I'm not compromising on the content. I'm just saying I'm going to finish you quicker so that you can then apply for jobs.
Yeah.
And I've got so much contacts in Cairns myself. I can get them.
Do you think you can do them like 5 days a week and then do the like half year complete the courses?
that will be a really stretch. But I'm not saying it's impossible. But I think 9 months is
a lot. Yes.
9 months is at least required, because students also, they want to do part-time jobs and things like that as well. So I'm saying, where you used to go to college 1 day a week and work the other 3-4 days, now you come to college 3 days a week, but work the other 4 days on the weekends as well. So you're not compromising. You're still working part-time. You're still getting hours, but you're getting, because the objective is very clear. You want to get a job at the end of the course. in hospitality.
So is there any when you make the courses reduce the hours for their study, so whether there will be some education department, they will not approve your courses?
Okay.
There will be something like that?
No. So what happens is when the department approves our qualification, we give them a maximum period. So we say our course is going to be, for example, for our course, the Certificate 4 in Commercial Kitchen Management, Certificate 4 in Kitchen Management is for a duration of, it was for 78 weeks, including holidays. Okay. Now, when I issue a COE, I can't issue any more than 78. 78 is my top, because that's what I've got approval. But I can surely have a course which is shorter. Can't go more, but can go less. Okay. So I can issue a COE for 52 weeks. Because I may say, I'm not giving them 16 weeks holiday. I'm giving them 6 weeks holiday. That's not a crime. But my course is reduced, because of which my COE will be very clearly saying the course is for 52 weeks and there's only 6 weeks holiday. That means the course is running for 44 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm doing 2 days a week or 3 days a week. So department has no issues as long as it doesn't exceed the duration. If I'm going to say my course is for 78 weeks, but now I want a cookery course or a kitchen management course for 104 weeks, then I have to go for approval.
All right.
If it goes more. But if it goes less, as long as I have got a structure and a strategy and I can prove it, that's fine.
Oh. Yeah, I think that this will be a good way, because currently I think because the 485 duration is less, so the students would like to use less time to complete the study.
Correct.
And give them more time to go to the job and also complete the skill assessments.
Absolutely. So I think that strategy will work. Even with in Cairns, I know for a fact that AHK or disability workers is not on the list, on the MLTSS list, but it's on the DAMA list for Cairns. So AHK workers, as long as the employer has got a labor agreement, the employees can be sponsored. So HK is on the list in the DAMA, but it's not for Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. Anybody who's studying aged care in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, I don't think there's any hope for them.
No, because I know one of the employee, they provide the aged care because they register in the labor agreement, but they don't have that many workspace for these students. There's so many students, they won't go, but they don't have that positions.
Yes, because when you get a labor agreement approval, unless you're a very, very, very big company, the labor agreement approval will come for initially 5 applicants or 10. And guess what? Most of these employers already have international students working for them.
Yeah.
So if I was an employer and I've got 30, 40 people working for me already, my objective would be to help the people who are working with me before I get somebody from outside.
Yeah.
Another strategy that I know of is a lot of international students who are working with big employers like Regis or ARC or Bupa. All these big employers also know one fact very clearly. They know that there are a lot of students applying for the jobs. So they don't sponsor. Because every time they sponsor, as you and I know, the cost to them is close to about $4,500, $5,000.
Yes.
Okay. So even if you take $5,000 and if I've got 5 people to sponsor, that's $25,000 the company has to put forward to sponsor these people on 482. The company might say, you know what, I'll let those 5 people go. I've got 50 people waiting to take the same job up. So the employers are becoming very smart as well, especially in big cities. They don't sponsor.
Yeah, they have so many people, job seekers to go to them.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they say, why should we invest in money and reduce our profits? We don't sponsor. So I tell a lot of my people whom I help in the sponsorship and 482, I tell them very clearly, you should ask your employer when you interview, will you help sponsoring me? And if they say no, I'm not saying don't take up the job, but at least you're very clear what your future is with that company. It's not for too long, it's a very short period.
We know the employers need the employees, but for those job seekers, they always found it's very hard for them to find a job. So we need to do these connections for them.
Okay, a lot of employees also have not been educated enough. They always think, oh, international people can't speak English. Oh, international people can't do this. And I tell them very clearly, do you realize the international people we are talking about, they are more educated than you are because they've done a master's already in an Australian university. So sometimes they say, oh yeah, that's right. I said, yeah. So they may have a different accent, but the knowledge is there, and so sometimes I have to educate the employers, and then they say, oh, that's right.
Yeah, I found you are not only doing your like education job, you're mainly doing your human resource job.
It's an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And if you can touch every part of the ecosystem and you complete the entire cycle, it's an advantage because you understand the entire cycle, one. Second is you benefit as well. And third is the other person doesn't look at it in a any different way. He looks at you and says thank you to you because you know the system. So when I talk to an employee, he says, oh, Mel, you understand the education, great. You understand the Department of Home Affairs, good. And you can get me the right people. Yes. Applicant is happy because he knows I understand what they studied. Applicant is happy I understand the 482 system. And the applicant is happy that I can speak to the employer for them.
Yeah, I think you got a very, very good plan.
Yeah.
I know Julia will be quite happy. If you go on your road trip, Julia will ask you to do some videos or photos and send to her.
Absolutely, I will. And if the employer is happy, at the moment, Julia, the employer was very shy on the camera, but I'm doing a testimonial of how I've helped her, and I'll send a copy to you as well, to get the labor agreement, how the entire process helped her. So when I go and talk to Sika, look, this is unfortunate. When I talk to somebody, when they look at me first time, they say, oh, this guy doesn't know who is this guy from India and whatever. But when I start speaking and show them a testimonial of people, what they say, then the person takes me seriously.
Yeah, yes.
Sometimes you need to present your knowledge for the person to say, yeah, I understand what this guy is saying. But to present it, the person has to open the door for me. But if the person doesn't open the door, I can't speak through the door, So this is what my strategy is when I do the road trip is knock on the door. And I'm a sales guy as well. I don't get disappointed if somebody says no to me. Because that's the worst thing can happen is the person says, so, no, thank you very much, I'm not interested. That's fine. I could have changed it.
Join you.
Yeah, because I could have changed the person's life, but he doesn't want me to help him. So that's fine. I walk and knock on somebody else's business, and that might work. So that's my plan. So in July 9th, I think I'm booking, 8th or 9th, I'm going to start the road trip. And I need to get up there by the 13th of July. So, and that's the whole point, is if the business doesn't come to you, you go to the business.
Yeah, I think that definitely, like if you want good business and also want to develop your business, if you're only sitting there, you can't get what you want. You must like go forward to it.
Absolutely. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. But if it was easy, everybody else would be doing it as well.
Yeah.
So it is hard for me to make appointments, and I'm going to get on the phone. I'm talking to people, just telling them, look, I'm coming to say Sunshine Coast, and I'm identifying which businesses they are. And I'm coming to Sunshine Coast on so and so date, like just half an hour of your time to help you if you're finding difficulty finding people. Most of the people say, yep, it's okay, and I'll meet with you for half an hour. That's all they need.
Yeah, Sunshine Coast is also, I know there's so many employers, they want more employees.
Correct.
Yeah, for all these like regional area, I knew the government, also the Department of Home Affairs, they want more people go to the regional
They
area.
want to push them out into the regions because Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane is packed because the wage housing prices are going up and everything. So they want to push people out in the region. Hopefully they understand that and give visa approvals as well.
Yep.
So my plan of doing the road trip and doing the strategy is, in the worst case scenario, my education business starts suffering, I have to have a plan B, as I was telling you.
Yeah, yes,
we have
definitely.
to have a plan B.
Yeah.
And a lot of the migration agents as well, I was talking to them as well. They said, look, we were relying on our education revenue as well, because as a migration business, you do education and you do migration. Education business suffering, so you got to fall back on your migration business now as well.
Yeah,
So,
most of the migration agent they do along the COVID period.
Correct.
Because when there's COVID, like there's no overseas students
Correct.
coming, so the education industry they just collapse.
Absolutely.
I know so many education agencies they just like closed
Correct.
along the COVID period. But for us as all these migration agents, I don't think some of them not many of us close the business.
Plan B, that's exactly what I'm talking
because
about.
we just like dealing with more other things,
Yep.
like more like visa issues.
Yep.
So this will be the good way for
Yep.
us to can find some like plan B.
Yes.
And also at this moment, even we got so many visa refusals.
Yes.
Not because we are no good, just because the department, they have so many policy changes. They have their own things like internal rules
Correct.
to do the visa refusal.
Absolutely.
But we also can find a way to helping people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope the discussion was fruitful.
Yeah.